So attorneys, even legal aid attorneys, can fall into the trap of believing that legal solutions are the best solutions. Hey, we have to justify our existence, right? But we do our jobs best when we coordinate with community groups. They are our eyes, our ears, and our voices on the ground. They can achieve amazing things through direct action, organizing, protesting, community education, media strategy, and lobbying that we cannot do through the court system. And that is why I'm so proud and honored to present this year's Barbara Grau Housing Advocate Award to the Preserve Lathrop Campaign. I came to know many of the members of this group when Stephanie Valinsky and I represented the Lathrop Tenant Council, and there are no advocates that I respect more than them. For those who do not know, Lathrop Homes is a public housing development on the north side of Chicago, straddling Diversey Avenue and bound by Clybourne Avenue and the river. Townhomes and three-story buildings are nestled around landscaped courtyards and large open green spaces that were designed by famed landscape architect Jans Jensen. Because of the pervasive segregation in Chicago, Lathrop was originally for whites only, but over time it became the most racially and ethnically diverse public housing development in Chicago, and the only one north of North Avenue. Lathrop is near stores that employ its residents, like Costco and Target, as well as decent schools for its children. A thriving Boys and Girls Club was a vibrant community center on the north end of the site. At its height, Lathrop was home to 925 low-income families. In the late 1990s, CHA began its plan to tear down the deteriorating, safety-plagued, high-rise towers all over the south and west sides of Chicago and replace them with mixed-income developments. Lathrop Homes was not on the demolition list. CHA designated Lathrop to be rehabilitated and kept as 100% public housing. They never moved forward on that plan, instead allowing occupancy rates at Lathrop to decline and then allowing the buildings and the physical plant to deteriorate. In 2006, CHA decided that Lathrop 2 would be torn down and redeveloped. The Lathrop residents cried foul. This stank of nothing more than a land grab for wealthy developers. The residents had already seen the mass displacement that CHA's plan for transformation caused at other developments. They knew that their community and the community surrounding it was already mixed income, with market rate saturation in the form of condominium developments nearby. In fact, affordable housing in the area was already disappearing, replaced by these new condos. The residents knew that if Lathrop was redeveloped, many of them would not be able to return to this high opportunity area, because at most, only a third of the public housing units would be replaced to make room for market rate units. The Preserve Lathrop campaign grew out of the opposition to CHA's displacement and demolition plans. Preserve Lathrop is a coalition of current residents, former residents, and members of the surrounding community that understand that affordable housing in good neighborhoods is an essential part of a stable and healthy city, and that CHA's history of insidious segregation must be remedied through more housing opportunities for low-income people of color on the north side of Chicago. The Logan Square Neighborhood Association helps organize this diverse group of constituents. And these people show up. They have been unrelenting in their presence and their pressure on the CHA, on the aldermen, and on the mayor to show what would be lost and what should not be lost at Lathrop Homes if the plans to redevelop and displace public housing residents go through. They stage creative public campaigns, like a Christmas-time Las Posadas that dramatizes the Holy Family's search for a place to rest on their flight to Bethlehem, which calls attention to the displacement of low-income families. Through actions like these, the campaign has kept a spotlight on their cause. They have been an invaluable ally to the Lathrop Tenant Council, which negotiates directly with the CHA in a redevelopment working group. They let this city and those in power know that this community will not be silent, that they will not be swept under the rug, and that they are fighting against policies that impact the most vulnerable in our society. And I am proud to tell you today that their efforts have not been in vain. I only have time to tell you about a few of their victories, but you should follow them on Facebook and on Twitter to keep up to date on their work. First, CHA has recently committed to replace public housing units lost at Lathrop Homes in the surrounding community. This is critical because without this commitment, many families would end up in segregated, low opportunity areas of the city, or the far south suburbs, as Mr. Orr told us, far from decent jobs, far from good public transportation, and far from quality schools. Second, another victory, after years of keeping units unoccupied until more than 3/4 of Lathrop was vacant, CHA has now committed to keeping at least 150 units occupied throughout redevelopment. As an attorney who has been fighting displacement for a long time, I can't tell you how amazing and unprecedented this victory is. It also guarantees that residents will continue to have a front row seat and a voice in what happens to Lathrop as redevelopment continues. Finally, the redeveloper and CHA have agreed to preserve at least 21 of Lathrop's historic buildings. I am in awe of this committed team, and I have to mention one particular person, Miguel Suarez. Sorry. Miguel was a longtime resident of Lathrop and an unfailingly loyal member of the Preserve Lathrop Campaign. He showed up and was ready to fight. He brought his neighbors to meetings, and he got them on buses to go to CHA meetings, board meetings, and to public events. He was also a spokesperson for the campaign, providing a passionate public voice for Lathrop residents. He passed away 3 weeks ago, and although I know the Lathrop campaign will continue to be strong without him, his love, energy, and infectious smile will be missed by all. I am so glad that LCBH has seen fit to give the Barbara Grau Award to the Preserve Lathrop Campaign, a community organization, because from what I know, Barbara Grau was a community organizer at heart when she started as a lawyer, but also because without groups like the Preserve Lathrop Campaign, we legal advocates would be lost. Congratulations to the Preserve Lathrop Campaign, and thank you for your work.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is J.L. Gross, and I'm the acting chair of the Lathrop Leadership Committee. And if you will please indulge me, Lizzie, that was one of the best introductions anyone has ever had. I applaud. I also want to take the time to say this, and this is on a personal note. Mr. Orr, you are one of Chicago's unsung heroes. For me personally, I'm a fan of yours, unabashedly. And I appreciate that history lesson that you took us down, because I lived through all those moments. And I can't thank you enough for being one of the first people in Chicago to jump on Harold Washington's bandwagon. So my hat's off to you, sir. This is an emotional time for me. As I said, my name is J.L. Gross, and I'm the chair for Lathrop Leadership Committee. We accept this award with humility and gratitude, but we also acknowledge our fight is far from over. For us, the struggle is real, and we will not accept anything less than fairness and equity. This means in housing as well as social justice for all. I could not be prouder of the people standing with me tonight. It is in their name that we accept this award. Some who are here, others who have fallen. We want to recognize our fallen comrades, leaders such as Mildred Pagan, Bobby Watkins, and Miguel Suarez, and Laura Rosario. They are some of the people who made it possible for us to be here tonight. For it is for them who I apologize. For it is for them who kept us regularly involved and wouldn't let us quit. We wish to thank the whole Lathrop community, the alumni of Lathrop, and the former residents, and the supporting neighbors, and many allies. We want to give a special recognition to several organizations that keep us moving forward. That keep us moving forward. The Lathrop Leadership Team, which I am honored to chair. The Logan Square Neighborhood Association, which has been with us all the way. Our religious leaders, especially the Logan Square Ecumenical Alliance, the Chicago Housing Initiative, of which I'm just a small part, but represent all segments of Chicago, which has united so many to fight to reform the CHA. I also want to recognize our partners, the Lathrop Local Advisory Council, and their newly elected president, Juanita Stevenson, and Vice President Tim Scott. I often think let me rephrase that. I often refer to Lathrop as the jewel on the Chicago River because it stands for what Chicago could be as far as a diverse Chicago community. It is and could be a beacon for other Chicago mixed ethnic communities. I believe people want to live together in peace and harmony. They just need a place to do it. It is time to end segregation in Chicago. I'm reminded, David reminded me that a lot of times I say that I live in the city of two tales. Chicago has long been a bastion of segregation since I was a shorty. I'm an old man now. You know, and it's very disheartening for me to go before city council or go before committees and plead our case as far as the homeless, people living under viaducts, people not having public housing. That's a sad commentary on the city of Chicago. But as I look over this room tonight, I take solace in the fact that, you know what, to be honest, I didn't even know you guys existed. You know? And I'm here to say that I appreciate each and every one that's in this room, from the people who put this thing together, right down to the servers. It means a great deal to me because it makes me feel like what we're trying to do really is worthwhile, and that's gratifying. And that's more than an award to me. So, from me to you, it's heartfelt. I appreciate each and every one of you that's here tonight. I also want to say, that I'm here because of Miguel Suarez. I lived in my community for over 20 years. But I just lived there. I was not a part of it. I've been in my community about 27, almost 28 years. But for the first 20 years, I lived in that community. And it was just a place for me to live. In the last several years, I've become involved only because of the people that I'm surrounded by. And I really don't have an excuse. I used to say that it was due to my post-traumatic stress. But I cannot rely on that crutch anymore. These people have given me something to fight for and to strive for, and they have helped me tremendously. And I want you to know that I appreciate each and every person that stands beside me now. But I started to say I'm here primarily because of Miguel Suarez. Miguel Suarez was my friend, unabashedly, once again, my friend. He taught me the meaning of commitment. He taught me the meaning of community values. And that's why I stand before you now. Because Lathrop is my community, and I am thoroughly, unabashedly proud of Lathrop. It is one of the most diverse communities in this city, and it works. And it disheartens me for the city to come along in the name of No. Help me, John. Help me. Regentrification. Buzzword for the day. Buzzword for the day. Hey, you can call it what you want to call it, man, but you are destroying, not you personally, but the city has taken away a value, not just a valuable piece of property, but a community. And I am disheartened is not the word. I'm devastated that the city is able to do this. And for a long time, I thought that really nobody cared, and that's why I reached out to everybody here tonight. You mean a lot to me because there are times when I just think the city just doesn't care, and then I get into a room full of people who want to give us an award. You know, hey, it don't get no better for me. You know. And with that, I close. Thank you.